I actually built a Spotify playlist called Dad Take the Long Way Home after Styx. Is it Styx that does? Take the long way home.
Yeah.
Supertramp.
That's
Supertramp.
right.
So it was Supertramp, Styx, Queen, Alana Miles, CCR. So this playlist is just all of them because that's all, like my dad would listen to all of that when I was young. Always been a daddy's girl. My dad called me Sweet Pea. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a special episode of The Tiffany Show. We are celebrating dads, father figures, near and dear to my heart. For those of you that don't know, in January 2023, I lost my dad. So last Father's Day, I was just in no space and no capacity to be able to celebrate. I just kind of took the day to honor my own dad. I am ready this year. I want to celebrate and just meet a few of our local dads. So here we go. Happy Father's Day, buddy. Happy Father's Day to you, Matt.
Thank you very much.
Happy Father's Day,
Happy
Lyle
Father's Day.
Saunders.
To everyone.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, everyone. Or fathers. And mothers playing fathers.
Yeah.
Anyone playing the role.
Father
really.
figures. Happy Father's Day to you, Steve Robinson.
Thank you, Tiffany. Happy Father's Day out there to everybody that has kids, especially my dad, Gary, and also to Pete, Colin, Mike, and Jamie, Joe, and Linton. Have a great day, guys.
Were those all the dads of your grandbabies?
Yes.
Oh, my heart. Welcome to The Tiffany Show, your TV, Peterborough, Lindsay, Cogeco, and of course, my social media channels. Today, we celebrate local dads. Please welcome the first guest of our Father's Day episode.
I'm Phil Jolicoeur. I'm 42 years old. I have 2 children. I have a 14-year-old daughter who has been my daughter since she was 2. She's not my stepdaughter or anything. It's just, she's my daughter.
Yeah.
And then I have an 8-year-old son who's just absolutely amazing as well. So it's my favorite job. So I didn't have a father really growing up, a father figure. Like I had a stepdad that was around, but my real father, he wasn't in my life until I was 30-something I met. He stuck around for a bit and then he did what he did best. Growing up, being a dad wasn't something I considered just because I didn't really have that role model in my life. But when I met my wife, she had a beautiful little girl who was smart and funny and shy and just grew on me. And then it was an easy role to fill. When the kids are awesome, it's a pretty cool thing to do.
Come on down. You are a new dad.
Becky,
Congratulations,
thank you so
buddy.
much. Yeah, so I have one daughter. Her name is Serenity. She is going to be celebrating her first birthday later this month. So I'm David Bui. I'm editor and journalist of Couture Canada. I've been so for 3 years. I'm a little bit newer to the game.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely changed my life. Right from the start, I wanted to be a dad. So I have this kind of mentorship kind of personality in me. Like I love teaching other people. And that's one thing I was really looking forward to when I was becoming a dad. It's like, you know what, I get to mentor this person. I get to bring them into the world. I want to teach them everything that I know. And that's what I want to do. My dad definitely was a big teacher for sure. He would try to make everything in my life a learning experience.
Teachable moment.
Yes, teachable always, whether I wanted to or not. In the long run, that's really what it was about. That was something good about what my father did, was always make sure you always learn and always keep going. And
Mr. Couture.
Cheers. My name's Matt Couture. I own a business, Couture Candy, here in downtown Peterborough. We got 2 locations, one in downtown and one at the mall. I've got 2 kids, Edie and Henry. They are 13 and 11.
You're
2
coming
kids
into,
and business, and I'm a full-time student at Fleming.
a beautiful human being and a
thank you.
wonderful dad.
So thank you.
You have beautiful kids.
Henry was named after my grandfather, and Edie was named after Edie Falco.
Really?
The actress, yeah.
What, you said 11 and 13?
Yeah.
For Henry and Edie?
Yeah. They know my struggles. I'm very open. I'm an open book. I tell them everything pretty much. I would love for them to be able to see what their mom and I were like before they were here. I would love for them to be able to go back in time 15 years and see us, in Vegas partying. We have a business now, and we have these careers, and we have them, and we have all these responsibilities. But then it just seemed like there was just a different youth and energy than there is now. We're 40 now, and we're tired, and we go to bed at 9 o'clock. But there was days when we were up until 3 o'clock in the morning partying at the Pig's Ear, right?
That's
It's
like
been great to be a fly on the wall to actually see it go
I
down.
want to see you and Lisa
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
As kids, it is kind of neat to think of like, man, what were my parents like actually like when
totally
they were
different
younger?
person. Yeah.
Lyle Saunders,
All right.
come on down. You're the next dad on the Father's Day episode.
Happy Father's Day to everyone. And also to the uncles, the grandfathers out there as well. When my grandfather was alive, I always phoned him every year. And then also my uncle, my Uncle Barry. Shout out to Barry Chalice. I always phone him up on Father's Day as well, because like one of the other guests, I grew up without a dad as well. And that comes to a lot of shock. I remember going to a bachelor party with a couple of buds. I'm in the backseat. It's like, oh, they're talking about their family and their dads. And I'm quite quiet, unusually quiet for being me. And they're like, hey, what about your dad? And I'm like, I don't know my dad. And the one guy just shotgun. He turned around and he's like, what do you mean you don't know your dad? But you're such a great one. And it's like, awesome. That moment, right? And I'm like, and shout out to all the dads who are doing better.
Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you. I'm Steve Robinson. I have 3 grown children, and I'm a happy retiree, and I'm living the dream. I'm a grandfather.
You're a grandfather. How many grandbabies? So we got double whammy Father's Day for Steve.
Yeah, well, there's 4. I have 4 grandchildren, and my partner, Patty, has 7.
Were you a single dad?
Yes. Pam, Jesse, and Jake.
Pam, Jesse, and Jake.
I love all 3 kids. I always have, and I always will. And it's unconditional love. Single dad, and I had a full-time job.
Whew.
And back then, I was a competitive golfer, so I had to prioritize. And I always put family first. My apologies to GE Canada. My career came third.
What do you think are the qualities that make up a good dad?
It's different for everybody, but I think what makes me a great dad is just my patience, knowing that my kids are a future generation of this world. So raising them to be beautiful humans that this world needs is super important to me. So I just do my best. So patience, being present, taking those cues from the kids that, they need you around. So if you find yourself glued to the phone and your son's like, Dad, 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 and you're just like, and you put it down and just quick little reminders that, you need to be present.
So for me, and I've definitely had to live this in my very short time as a father, it's not just being a provider. I have to be much more than that. So for me, I have to be kind of a bit of the rock in the house as well. So when I get home, it's pick up my daughter, say hi to my fiance, and then it's get right to work in the kitchen and start cooking for my family. As always, be there for your children and your fiance. These moments, they're not going to last.
No.
They're not gonna, things are going to change. There's going to be a time in life where my daughter is going to say, no, I'm rather going to be with my friends tonight rather than being with my parents. And that's just normal. And that's something I'm going to completely accept. You not only have to be a good father, but you also have to be a good partner.
Yeah,
because
agreed.
You have to be. It's not just the children that you're there for. You're also there for your partner as well.
Yeah.
You have to help
You
make
become
sure it
family.
makes a good relationship. Because my parents have been together for 45 years now.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
so
what Gid and I are moving toward those
Absolutely.
goals.
So I'm very privileged to be raised in that kind of
I love
household and have
that.
it. And that's the same thing I want for my family too.
What qualities make up a good dad, Matt?
I think the trend seems to be going, patience is a big one.
Yeah.
Patience, understanding and listening, but I think patience is definitely the big one.
Were you somebody who naturally had patience, or was this something you had to stretch into as you became a dad?
I naturally had patience, and then I've gone through some life changes with my work and my mental health. I used to be a paramedic, and then I left that job 5 years ago now with PTSD. And at that point, my patience completely, my brain changed, right?
Right.
So where I used to, be such a patient person, and all of a sudden it seemed like overnight I lost that completely. And I saw myself change completely into someone I didn't like to see the way I was treating my kids and Lisa, my wife. So that's something I'm always working now towards getting back.
I thank you so much for sharing that.
Mm-hmm. I'm very open. It
it's
was
so
kind of a
important to
dirty
talk
little
about.
secret for a little while, but I'm open to talk to anybody who will listen to it now.
Not all people get to that space where they recognize how things are affecting others, right? And then you got to kind of like pull ourselves out of that and look at the overview, try to kind of adjust our behaviors accordingly or our reactions accordingly.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for sharing that, because that is a challenge, and you're not alone. And that, like, my dad was like that, and there's and he had some very high stress situations happen that, just kind of changed the way he reacted to things.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, really special to share that. Other dads, like, you're not alone.
The more I talk about it, the more people identify with it.
Yeah.
The more men, women and men, but like men specifically, when you start talking about it, people are, me too. I have a hard time with that too. In spaces amongst friendships and between just like you and your best friend or you and your colleague, to just say, hey, I'm having a hard time right now.
Yeah.
And like, that's a really common thing, but not spoken about very often.
Yeah. And
It's to step up to the plate and show up.
yeah.
That's the biggest one.
Agreed.
Show up. And even if your relationship does break down, don't let that get in the way, because your kid is your kid. And props to all the single moms out there. My mom was a single mom. It's a challenge trying to do both roles, for sure. But I said, if and when I do have a child, that I become a dad, I'm going to be there no matter what the situation is. So yeah, and I hope my kids have that too, if they choose to be a parent. And it's okay if you don't choose to be, you know what I mean? It's okay. Yeah. It's not for everyone.
On other side, yeah,
right?
Totally.
And that's my biggest thing.
What do you think are the qualities of a good dad? What makes up a good dad?
Well, I tried to be a good dad. I just tried to be a good, positive male role model and instill confidence and try to give them a good guidance for their future. Be honest and be there when the kids need you.
So dads, they have challenges just like other parents, other figures. Maybe can we talk about some of the challenges dads have to navigate?
I think we're past the cliches of, men have to be strong and show that they're just strong. And there's ways of showing that you're strong without having to be that man. And it's, to me, it just goes back to being vulnerable and being able to cry in front of them and being able to tell them that it's everything's going to be okay. My biggest fear, I guess, would just be that I may not be there for them one day, as we're all humans, so we don't live forever. So that is my biggest fear. My biggest struggle as a dad is just living every day like it's the best day.
Beautiful dads. And I love talking about the actual strength of men. It's really important and super special to hear that message also be broadcast through other dads.
All I really want her to know, what really matters, is that she has a good dad. And the reason for that is because you want to be the role model for your children.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you really want to be. And you want them to look up to you, them follow in the footsteps. And, this is what you're going to learn from them. I'm going to be the biggest teacher with my fiance to my children. So I have to be that good man. I have to be the upstanding man. I have to have that good reputation. I can't have those skeletons in my closet or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
I think part of it is like being in this generation with technology the way that it is, kind of between obviously the generational coming from kind of the boomers, and I'm a millennial, and we're dealing with these Gen Z kids, and there's just such wide variety of people and ideals, and we're trying to find what works for our family and our kids. Also, while hearing all the kind of outside noise of, that's not right. Oh. In my day, it was this way. Oh. When the street lights came on, you came home, but like there wasn't phones then, and there wasn't social media then, and like it's different, and we're trying to figure it out literally day by day, and things change every day, and it's a challenge.
every father that's been on here is pretty transparent with their kids.
Yeah.
And I love hearing that. I think that's a key thing of, you know, admitting mistakes, having that open conversation, talking about your challenges, coming up with problem solving instead of just complaining. But there's also times where you just want to rant, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
My hope is that I'm friends with all my kids. I hope when they're in their 20s, they want to come home once a week.
It
they
comes
want
back around.
that, you know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
appreciate, and it's good to be a child. Like, oh my God. Yeah, 11, 13, and 18. And yeah, my 11-year-old girl and 13-year-old going into high school and 18-year-old, you know, it's quite the challenge for sure. And it's like patience is pushed regardless. You know, a far cry from, you know, the first 2 years, which is totally unstructured with sleep.
Chaos.
You can't shower. And yeah, it wasn't easy. I'd do it again, but it's quite the challenge and the adjustment for any newborns. But I always say the first 2 years are the whirlwind of adjustment. It's no longer about your needs, it's about their needs.
Yep.
The first 5 years, you see them grow, you see them walk, you see them babble.
You've been around the block with
right?
this dad
Exactly.
thing.
And
Don't get overworked, and just be calm, and don't blow up if you don't have to. And then if you make mistakes, apologize. I made my share of mistakes.
You seem like a pretty patient person.
Well, I was less patient then. I had two
Weren't
girls.
they all?
Two girls when the girls went through adolescence. That was.
I think that's when I tested the most buttons as well. Isn't that funny?
My kids, I'm pretty transparent with my kids already. They know a lot about me. I'm very open. I'm very vulnerable in front of them. They know that it's okay to be not okay. They know
Strong man.
They know it's okay to wear pink.
Yep.
Like it's to me, pink is a power color. It's I just want them to know that I love them more than anything. Like it's that they are the reason why I do everything I do. I get up. I work super hard. I work 80 hours a week as an entrepreneur, and everything I do is for my family and for my children. So,
that is so beautiful.
Right, well, that advice that I give my kids is I know they say you don't tell your kids you can do anything they want because it's impossible. But I'm a big believer because I was told from my mom that you can do anything you want, Phil, and if you try and you fail, that's okay. But if you're told from an early age you can't do everything you want, then there could be dreams that are shot down immediately just from that statement. So I like to tell my kids, you want to be a YouTuber, you can be a YouTuber if you want. And before you used to say that and it was a pipe dream, but now there's kids making millions of dollars on YouTube.
Legit.
So it's a legit job. So, if that is something I tell my kids all the time, if you can do anything you want, just dream it and work hard at it. And if it doesn't work out, then we'll figure it out. But
dream big, keep going.
and then for dads, and in particular new dads, patience. It's all going to be a struggle. It's all going to be a struggle, even if it's not just from the kids. It's providing for the kids, and we're living in a tough world, and not everybody is nice either. So you're sending your kids into this jungle that we call school, and there's other kids that aren't very nice sometimes, and it's just trying to teach to other parents or tell other parents that you're going to feel those feelings that those kids feel. So it's I wear every emotion my kids should be feeling.
I also want them to, if they get into trouble, if they need help, they want to come to me first.
That's what my dad wanted. He established that he was a safe space to go to. And it was like, I don't care what you're doing, what party you're at, what you think you might get in trouble for, please call me. He's like, I won't be mad at you. He drove that point home. I absolutely love that for you, buddy. Matt, can you give us a piece of dad advice?
I think the best advice is just do your best. Just do your best. If there's love in the house and you're doing your best, nobody's perfect, and learn to apologize and learn to let your ego take a back step sometimes and just apologize when you were wrong. And, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to screw up. I went through years of screwing up. I screw up all the time. But then to go back and go, I'm not always right. I was wrong, and apologize.
That was so. I'm getting like a flashback memory of my dad. Totally. Oh, he would pop off. And he would apologize. Mm-hmm. And when you said that, I could totally see him opening my bedroom door. He'd always knock. Right. He would never. It was really interesting. Like even I don't know. And he grew up in an Italian household, and he had strict rules and all this and all this. But when it came to our bedrooms, that was like our space.
That was your space.
Like Dad, nobody was allowed to just walk into our bedrooms. You had to knock. You had to announce yourself. Yeah, he was always like, mind your business. Like if our mom was upset about our rooms being dirty, he'd be like, then close the door. It's their room. Like,
right.
You know? And I always thought that was really interesting that he made sure that he established that space for us. Yeah. Sorry, I took you down that rabbit hole. I just totally had a flash memory as you were sharing that.
I am privileged in order to do volunteer at schools, organizing a barbecue for their fun fair, going to, and going to those field trips. Because again, I didn't have that opportunity with my father.
Yeah.
So why not do those things? And it's like, it's a pain, or, oh man, I could do so many things for those 3 or 4 hours you're taking away from. But it's those moments with your kids. And
that
you're
they
now
remember
the cool
forever.
dad, right?
Yeah.
So.
Totally, and they'll hold on to that. And you said too, like, I hope my kids become friends. Soft you for dads, Holy Hannah. So Lyle, if you could give us a piece of dad advice, what would that be?
Oh yeah, just show up. You showing up to the plate is good enough, and sometimes good enough is good enough, right?
Yep.
And
yes.
And to the dads that are the stepdads, good for you for that challenge. And the awesome uncles.
Yes.
And it's funny because my cousin was over watching hockey last night, and my youngest son was up with us watching, and we're going on about first-time jobs and your high school jobs, right? He's graduating grade 8. And it's just those moments that it's like, man, this is like a dad moment. And, even though it's my cousin, but he's crazy Uncle Adam.
Yep.
And to his kids, I'm crazy Uncle Lyle.
And
it's lean on your aunts and your uncles for that.
Totally.
Out of the box of the household, and you go for them for advice. And as a parent, don't feel bad that your kids aren't going to you, because you're part of the challenge and the equation. But at the end of the day, having that open communication when the dust settles and coming and hugging it out is what I call it, right? And it's those moments. And I just hope the kids come to us, whether it's me or their mom, about their life challenges, and let's talk it out. If you want to rant, just rant, but let's also try to problem solve. And if you run into this challenge again, you are gonna fail. I failed, right, on certain things, and as entrepreneurs, you just got to put yourself out there. And I really hope my kids know that I'm pushing them to put themselves out there.
Agreed.
Right, get out your comfortability, and when you do, look, we were talking about it at the beginning of this. Like, look at you. Look at your accomplishments. And I reflect on that all the time after tax season. Look at the accomplishments as an entrepreneur.
Celebrate.
But if we didn't have the confidence and we weren't given that support, and that's what I want to give my kids, that support, because they can do anything of their interest. And why not? Why not?
Why not? If you were to give a piece of advice, what would that advice be?
Well, just to encourage your children and any way you can, and give them your time. This is advice to fathers. Make sure you give them your time. And someday those kids are going to grow up and they're going to make you proud.
Oh, I love that. Lyle, bring us on home with a dad joke.
2 parts. You might know this. You said about, pirate joke. And I'm like, I almost used that one too.
Please.
Wait, here's another pirate joke.
This is my favorite one.
So, what is a pirate's favorite letter of the alphabet?
You'd think it'd be the R, but it'd actually be the C.
You knew it.
I almost came in with that joke today. I love it. I ruined your joke. I'm sorry, Lyle, Dad.
It's PG. I got a lot more
other.
We'll talk about
you are your dad joke king. Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you, and happy Father's Day to everyone out there as well.
Thank you for sharing a bit of
Thanks
your
for
heart with
inviting
us.
me.
Well, I don't really know many dad jokes, but I just wanted to say that I'm very grateful for you. And I'm really grateful for sidewalks because without them, I'd probably be on the streets. So
I'm like, he doesn't have a dad joke. It was good. It was good. I'll give you that. You did have me. You honestly, and it took me a second. I'm the worst at guessing dad jokes or getting them. It always takes me a second. Phil, thanks for being an awesome
of course,
dad.
thank you. Actually, not awesome. World's greatest.
Is it your? Oh my God.
12 years running.
12 years running. None of the other dads in here have anything to say to that.
When does a joke become a dad joke?
When?
When it becomes apparent.
Steve Robinson, thank you so much for joining me today. I
You're welcome.
appreciate
Thanks.
it.
The difference between a quarterback and a baby. One takes snaps, the other takes naps.
Oh, of course it's sportsy.
Of course it is.
David, thank you so much for joining us, for sharing with us. Congratulations on being a dad. Happy Father's Day, buddy.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy Father's
I'm
Day.
going to wrap you up, my friend. Can you tell us a dad joke?
I can. In all honesty, dad jokes are best when they're in the moment.
Oh, that's
You know what
true.
I mean? Like
I'll
when
give you
it's like a
that.
reactive thing to something that's happening in your situation, those are the best. So I did have to Google dad
Oh, it's
jokes.
all right. I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
So what did the duck say when it bought chapstick?
What?
Put it on my bill.
That is cute.
That was the best one I came across.
That's adorable. Matt, you're such a wonderful person.
Oh, thank you.
And such a warm soul. Thank you so much for joining us, my friend. Happy Father's Day
Cheers.
to you.
Happy Father's Day.
And this has been a super emotional episode of The Tiffany Show for me today. I didn't think it was going to hit how it hit, but it did, and it is what it is, and we got to let grief go through us. And all it is love for dads. I am grateful to all of the fathers that showed up today. This episode is dedicated to you, Dad, John Arcari. I miss you deeply. And again, pick up the phone, call your parents, call your loved ones. Whenever you feel it in your gut, take action, give them a call, record them saying, I love you. You will not regret that. This has been an episode of The Tiffany Show. Be kind, keep going, and all that good stuff. Happy Father's Day.
Looking to sell your home or cottage? You want to work with someone who knows the market inside and out. Hi, I'm Sarah Evans, born and raised in Peterborough, Ontario. I am very proud to call this great community home. Contact me today and I can promise to exceed your expectations. 705-768-6278 or visit sarahevans.ca.
Not intended to solicit those currently under contract.